It's absolutely a pleasure to speak to you. Just tell us a little bit about this new album and what fans can expect.
Oh, so the name of my album is Mirror 25, and it's called that because I'm actually mirroring the 25 years that I've really done in the dancehall. I'm super excited. Fans can just expect to have a burst of energy on the album. It's um it's very diverse. It has a lot of different melodies and sound, and I just feel like there's going to be a song on it for everyone. It's going to be a very relatable project. Has a lot of collabs and new sounds and new songs that they never heard me sing or flow like before, which is why I'm so excited about this project. And it drops on August the 9th. It's also my birthday week. So this is like my baby. It's like my baby project.
One of the things that I really respect and rate about you is your work ethic. You know, as well as being the queen of the dancehall, being on tour, new album, being on Love and Hip Hop at Atlanta, you're also a mum to two beautiful children. How do you juggle it all, Spice?
Ooh, I would definitely have to give that to my team, to my mom. You know, I have my kids, so I feel like she keeps me stable because when the kids are with her, I don't have to worry about anything. I know that they're well taken care of. So that gives me a clear mindset to go and do my job. My team as well, who keeps me grounded. This project was really put together by a group of talented people. Karen Young, who's the composer for all the rhythms on this project. Red Boom Super Mix, he mixed all the songs. It was recorded in Ireland studio, all of them. So it was just like a team effort. Empress the Glam on the ear as well. You know, Sky on my makeup. It's a whole body of work that really makes the brand Spice able to delegate and navigate.
And how do you switch off? Because as Black women, we always get accused of working too hard, being there for everybody, and we never really take time out. Like, how do you switch off and practice like self-care for Spice?
That's hard because I don't want to lie to my audience. I don't get time to switch off. I'm always working. People around me beg me to slow down, beg me to take a rest. I'm actually talking to you and I haven't slept last night, so you can hear it in my voice. But I feel like as a lady of many hats, in Jamaica we call it head cook and bottle washer, where you do everything. You know, you just need more time. But I feel like self-care is important, and I'm going to really rest on my birthday. I'm not going to do anything, I promise.
Just in terms of the journey, how does it feel to be where you are now, and how far away from where you want to be are you?
That's a great question. To be where I'm at right now, I feel proud of myself. I really, really look back sometimes and I get emotional because I look back on some videos when I know where I'm struggling from. I tell people like I'm in the music right now and it's literally an evolution, because to see where the music is at now and to see where my career is at and being crowned the queen of dancehall and having a Grammy nomination and all of that. I really remember the days when I used to walk in a Jamaica and print my CDs them and give it out to a taxi driver to get my songs out there, give it out to a bus driver just to let my voice be heard, like a little walk to stage shows to get a performance. Ninja Man used to call me up on stage and I used to beg people to let me in the venue. I'm waiting on people to give me a highlight. So my journey is really long. And when I look at where I'm at right now, it took a lot of hard work, prior dedication, resilience, and consistency. So it really makes me feel proud to know that I never gave up. I believed in myself. I stood my grounds. It was a lot of rough decisions, but I'm really proud of the woman that I am today. And everything that I've been through has literally molded me and shaped me into the artist that I am. So I'm really happy to see my journey. And I'm really celebrating it with this album, Mirror 25. And that's why I chose that name.
What about how far you are from where you want to be? If we consider you to be halfway up the mountain, what is the rest of the look like?
That's also a hard question that I don't know how to answer, because it's like, in coming up with the name of my album and I was reflecting on everything, it's like you reach this far. Where do you go from here? What else do you do? But I feel like my legacy is probably 50% there, I would say. You know what I always say I wanted my legacy to be? I always tell people whenever I travel the world, because I'm just coming from Singapore, and when I went over there, I say, you know, dancehall music? They say, no. I say, you know, reggae? They say, yeah, Bob Marley. everywhere I go in the world, it doesn't matter how if they're not familiar with a certain artist or a certain or the genre, they always know Bob Marley. And I always say, Bob Marley did it for reggae. I want to make sure that I do it for women in dancehall. And I don't think I've reached that mark as yet. And that's the legacy that I want to create. I want to create that legacy as the woman who come from Jamaica and really set a real high standard for female artists in a dancehall.
Talking about the woman that come from Jamaica, your brand now is big, global, everybody knows it. But if I'm sitting down with you know, a young teenager who doesn't dig down into the history, who doesn't read, doesn't take time out, if it's not on a video, they're just not going to know. The little girl that grew up in Jamaica, has she achieved all her dreams? And what was she like? Was she a good girl, studious? I asked every artist this. What was you like as a youngster in Jamaica?
Very similar to what I am, very feisty, which is why I got the name Spice. I was that little girl in the community who always just have that fiery feisty attitude, a rebuttal to anything. No man can talk to me, this, that. So it was, I got the name Spice from my community, where it was a group of guys. There was guillotine youths, and them was like, where's the little spicy one? She always spicy. That's how I got my name. So I feel like I was always very confident, I would say, a very confident little girl. But I also come from humble beginnings. My father died when I was 9 years old. You know, I remember days where, you know, my siblings and I used to just be in that one room. And yes, to the second part of your question, I feel like the little girl did achieve her dream, because my dream was always to take my mom out of poverty. And I feel like I did that. I've done that. So I think I definitely have accomplished my dream.
One of the things that I love about you is that you don't shy away from like important topics, you know, and you've been very open with your journey and, you know, some of the things that you faced in the industry. A few years ago, you released a song called Black Hypocrisy that spoke about your experience with colorism. I mean, how much progress do you think we've made as a community when it comes to having open and honest conversations about colorism in the music industry?
That's a hard question. I was just having a conversation about a young girl, you know, feeling like people are coming against her for her complexion. I don't think, to be honest, we're ever going to, I don't know if I should say it, reach a place where colorism justice doesn't exist. I don't know, because it's been living on for so many years. But what I can say is that when I continue to use my voice for the voiceless and to create that awareness for colorism, it's in aid to demolish, or to try to demolish, because colorism is real. It's still plaguing the community to this day. I remember people telling me that I need to bleach my skin because if I was a lighter complexion, I would have reached further. And I feel like people still have that mindset, you know? So I don't know if we're going to ever reach a place where it doesn't exist at all. I feel like it's always plaguing our dark-skinned Black women. But I'm going to always be the voice for the voiceless. And I'm always going to remind my Black girls that they are beautiful no matter what, and to love themselves just the way they are. And that's why, to go back to the part where I was Grammy nominated, when I reached those types of accolades and recognition, I'm happy about it, because it reminds girls who look like me that it's possible, that dreams come true, that they can make it as well. Because society will make you feel like, oh, you're not going to accomplish those things, remaining true to who I am. So I like when I set those things and create that kind of legacy. So Black girls can see me and know that it's possible.
I just want to go back to something you mentioned. You mentioned your father sadly passed away when you was 9. And I remember on social media a few years back, I think you went to Zimbabwe and you made a post and you said you were so proud to be there. And you mentioned your father being a Rasta man and that he always wanted to go to Africa, and that made the trip extra special. Can you just touch on the sort of influence he had on you?
So my father, he was a Rasta. He used to love reggae music. He used to play them in the house. I remember him playing a lot of Professor Nuts. Every Sunday, we used to hear the football play, but the reggae music are bouncing in the background, and him are cooking food, and it's just always an airy vibe in my house. I came from a loving home with my mom and dad. We wasn't the richest. We never have financial stuff, but we had a lot of love. And that's what that's some of my great memories that I have with my father. And I feel like he made me just fall in love with reggae music because him always a play it. So I tell people all the time when they say, oh, so you never look up to no woman never inspire you. My father never used to play no woman song. I play Bob Marley and Peter Tosh and Professor Nuts, and that's where I got introduced to music. So I feel like it started there for me. So I always say, I just did a song called Spice Marley, where, you know, I started it with his name. His name is Polofin. And big up to my mama Jella, because it's like, that's where it started for me. Music started in my home.
You were here recently for the Unruly Fest. Did you feel the love when you were here? And how was the performance and experience from your perspective?
Oh, it was great. It was great. You know, I used to live in England, so it's always like coming home for me.
Okay, it makes sense now.
It makes sense. I'm a North Londoner. You get me?
Yeah,
I used to live in Park.
Makes sense.
Yes. Big up to my grandfather who passed away. May his soul rest in peace. I was living with him for a while. When I was younger, I went to school there. But I always want to go back to Jamaica to chase my dreams. So me always about to go back to Jamaica. But I do have a past in England, so I call it my second home. Unruly Fest was amazing. I feel like it was a historical moment because we see two persons come out of Jamaica and the whole stadium sold out. It's a big thing. It's not a small thing. It's something to talk about. People say dancehall is dead, but that's not true. You can look back and see the record of people coming out in support of our, you know, dancehall legends. So I feel like that was very great. The reception was great. For me, as always, because I always like to perform good and give a burst of energy everywhere we go, you know, and that's just what it is.
And there's another question I always ask dancehall and reggae artists: the state of the industry. Everybody's got a perspective. I'd love to hear yours. Where are we in 2024? Good place, bad place, good or better, good or worse?
I mean, it still could be better. It's always room for growth. I don't think we have the perfect genre. It's always room for growth. So I think that it definitely can be better. And when I actually can say proudly that I know it can be better. And the reason why I say that is because if you look on the iTunes chart, Bob Marley live up there. Him no move. So I think with that being said, there's proof in the pudding that we still have a lot of work to do. Because if Bob Marley, after so many years, is still the number one, your proof is there that we still have a lot more work to do. So I feel like we have room for growth, and I feel like as long as my peers kind of realize certain things, then they will even start to work harder when it comes to that part of it.
Were you listening outside of your own music? When you're chilling out yourself, what were you relaxing to?
Oh, you know, I play the YG song a lot since lately.
Is that you, yeah?
I play that song there a lot. I listen to things outside of me, Nicki Minaj. I love Jada Kingdom, big up to Twinkle. You know, I listen to my peers, them Pumpity. Like, I like to listen to different sounds and music. Me love Bounty Killer, you know, Cartel, Out Now, Free the World. Me keep on say Free the World Boss because it's embedded in me. But the World Boss is free. So, I mean, all of the songs, them, it gives me a vibe. I like to listen to every kind of different music. But a lot of people don't know my favorite genre is actually gospel.
And just on the World Boss, he is free. He is out. He left a different dancehall scene. He's back to one now that, you know, he could possibly influence in ways that are unspeakable. You must be excited for that.
Super excited. I don't even have words to express how happy I feel. But just feel happy and excited for the man. Like, literally just, you know, I've been saying Free World Boss for 13 years. So to live and see just at me right in front of my eye, me not think I have enough words to express to people what kind of joy that brings.
When are you coming back to the UK, Spice?
Hopefully before the year ends, I want to be there. I'm actually, when my Miro 25 album drops, I want to go on tour. So hopefully I get booked in the UK so I can be on tour in England, you know, and I shell down the place with my UK besties. So hopefully by the end of the year, I'll be back in UK on tour with Miro 25.
When you made the decision to do Love and Hip Hop, and you were a star already in my eyes, right? But the scrutiny that comes with that limelight is different, right? Were you ready for it? And how has it changed you, if it hasn't?
I feel like I was ready for it because I was already a public figure. Like you said, I went on there being a star. They never turned me into one. So I feel like I was already built and ready that, you know, we're going to get criticism regardless. I feel like with the TV world, the only difference is that you don't have the privilege of directing your own story. And so it's a little bit different. It's not like when me go up on Instagram and not edit. Me just talk and I tell my fans, listen, as for this go. I feel like the only difference, what I've learned in the long run, is that you may have an issue with someone, but because the issue didn't happen on camera, people may see you and they're wondering, oh, so West Spice have the attitude there for. But not because you didn't see it happen on camera, didn't mean it never happened. The camera don't live our yard in 24 hours. Because things like that is what I always try to remind people. Not because you see a clip for 30 seconds, that means you know exactly what's going on. So it's stuff like that that I feel like is a disadvantage. But the advantage to being on Love and Hip Hop, I feel like it has catapulted my career in somewhere where it's kind of introduced me to a different audience.
Spice, listen, I'm loving you on the new season of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Just finished watching episode 1 where you announced that you're going to be producing a cast album. Tell us about why you've decided to get into your producing bag.
So a lot of people know the history of me being tied up in a record deal with VP Records for the past 10 years, which is why my album was called 10, because I was in a contract with them and couldn't come out for 10 years. So big up to Shaggy, because he's the reason for the season. He's the one that got me out of that contract, why I had that album 10. So in being in there, I kind of learned a lot of things, the language of music. For me, I kind of know how to produce my own self because I didn't have nobody at the time. So I kind of mastered the craft of producing, getting out the songs to the DSPs. So that's why I'm producing my own album right now, because I know the ins and outs and how to get the project out there. So the fact that I'm into producing, I'm loving it. And when I came on, I was like, you know what? I don't want to be selfish. I feel like most of the people in Atlanta kind of lose their way a little bit in terms of it's always about arguing, fighting, this, that. Let's get back to the music, because there's a lot of artists on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. So my focus this year is to let's get back to the music and see if they can tour outside of just being in Atlanta. We was in England. They were covering my trip there. So you're going to see that episode as well, where I took them to England with me and introduced them to a different audience as well. So that's what it's about, kind of the sharing the joy and the love and celebrating my 25 years and sharing my knowledge as well that I've learned in music.
Absolutely love that.
Thank you so much for having me. I really
wonderful speaking to you. Keep shining bright, keep setting trends. We love you. Thank you, Spice.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you so much. Mirror 25, make sure you support the real way, because I said it's only 2 things. You're either a supporter or a hater. So make sure you buy a copy.